Hello and welcome to Chair Interval Training, brought to you by Community Access Yellow Springs, either on your Spectrum Cable TV Channel 5 or on Community Access Yellow Springs YouTube channel anytime you like, and co-sponsored by the Yellow Springs Senior Center. And me, Lynn Hardman, I will be your stand-up, sit-down, fight instructor today. Modify, adapt, go at your own pace, but never give up. You're going to need a great attitude and a sturdy chair, perhaps a jug or hand weights for our resistance strength training, and rubber tubing. But before you do this or any other new activity exercise program, consult your physician. And if at any time you feel dizzy or out of balance or just not right, it's recommended you return or just stay in your chair. You're going to get plenty of exercise benefits by doing your best and then taking a rest and then joining back in. So come along. I've got some music and also you want to have some water on hand and try to store your belongings underneath the footprint of your chair, because it's very important that the floor and the area we're working in is free and clear of any tripping hazards. Okay, so let's get this party started. I'm so glad that you can continue to exercise with me, whether this is your first chair interval training exercise program or your 51st, because I think we're about there. So let's start gradually. Couple of reminders as you just sort of march it out. Use your best posture. This will make it easier, and that's one of the goals of this exercise program. Also, you want to use this chair as your balance check. This is our home base, so keep it within your visual field. You could see it in your peripheral vision. And you can reach out and touch it whenever you need. Good. So, posture. Stack your ears over your shoulders, over your hips, whether you're seated or standing. And this will make our moving and our breathing easier. Go at your own pace. And when we're sitting down, that'll be the best time to get a sip of water and rehydrate. What is your own pace? Well, a couple things. Nothing should hurt. If you get a sharp, sudden shooting pain, stop. Modify by reducing the range of motion or going back to an activity or a movement that felt good to you. Or take a little rest. And with regard to intensity, on a scale of 1 being the lowest and 10 being the highest, we're going to shoot for a happy medium of 4 to about 7. And 8 would feel like I can do this, but not much longer. So I'm going to have to kind of bring it in a little bit and maybe make my range of motion smaller. Okay, let's widen out our march. And I want you to always stay near your chair, sort of behind or to the side of it, but I'm going to come a little bit closer so you can see what I'm doing better. With our stance sort of wide, we're going to sink into a little mini squat, keeping our head and shoulders up, getting our tailbone back, squeezing our hips forward as we extend through the legs and hips. Now, see how it feels to come up to your tiptoes. You've got your chair there for your balance if you need it. Just waking up those legs. Excellent. Now let's see if we can push up to one side, push up to the other. We're going nice and slow. Let's try it a little bit faster. Up, and kind of reaching across the body. Feels good to move. Rotating through our torso gently, nothing too sudden. Pulling the navel in, supporting our spine. Now, not everyone's shoulders like to go overhead, but if you Go up easy and gradual. See how it feels to maybe reach. Excellent. And then bring it down kind of gradually. And let's see how these shoulders like to come closer to the ears. Maybe roll them back. Swimming big or little. It's up to you. And then opening and closing the shoulders and chest. So many ranges of motion our shoulders can go through, being a ball and socket joint. And it really needs time to warm up, as do our hips. So let's go back to that mini squat and warm up our hips. Maybe a slightly larger range of motion. So hands in front, hands go back. Excellent, just a couple more. And march it out. I want to preview to you a couple of patterns that we're going to use today for ABCs. Agility, balance, coordination, and more. So if you're beside your chair, you might need it for this balance pattern. It's also a brain pattern. It sounds like this. It sounds like lift, 2, 3, march, 2, 3. So we're going to lift one leg, balancing, and then the other. March, 2, 3. We've got our hand near our chair if we need it. We can also tap our toe down if we want. We're focusing on balance, but we're going to get our heart rate up a little bit too. It's always good to get a little aerobic activity daily. Brisk walk. Some fresh air. Or if it's rainy like it is today, this fine spring flowery day, you could get some indoor activity. So we'll add a little brain game to that, and later on we'll even go up to 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, march, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we'll do the other leg. Just so you know, that's where we're going. And another game we're going to play is called Change One Thing. We can get our lower body doing one thing, like this march, and then we can get our upper body doing another thing, like maybe arms going side to side. And we could change the upper body or the lower body, or we could change the speed. Let's keep our arms going at the speed and make our feet go faster. Now, let's change our arms in front. Okay, so we're changing one thing at a time. Let's change our lower body and just tap our heels. And then if we wanted, we could change the speed of our upper body. So do you see? Change one thing. We can change the upper body, the lower body, or the speed. It's a coordination challenge. Because we know that coordination improvements can help reduce our risk of falls and improve our cognitive ability. All right, we're going to change the focus to one of a seated dynamic stretch. So as you bring your body to the front of your chair, touch that chair with your legs. That way you know it's there as you hinge your hips and sit down nice and slow, keeping your weight even in right and left feet. This is a great time to get a sip of water. As you get things down low, remember, brace to support your back with your arm and your abdominal muscles. Here's to a healthy spine. Okay, let's warm up our ankles and our wrists a little bit here. Sitting tall at the edge of your seat. Focus on these joints, the wrists and the ankles, and open your fingers and your toes. I can't see your toes, but inside your shoes. Hopefully you've got enough space. Lift your toes off the floor as you open your toes. And then take them out and in, out and in. Wrists and ankles too. A little faster, out and in. Maybe just conduct some music with your arms. You can conduct slow music. And maybe one foot. Sit tall. And then maybe the other foot. It doesn't matter what you do, just keep moving. Maybe take your right toe and pretend to write your name in cursive. And also with your right finger. And then do the same with your left. Oh, this is going to be harder. If you're left-handed, well, lucky you. Excellent. Just getting our wrists and our ankles warmed up. Let's get a dynamic stretch, but gentle on that right hamstring. Support on your left lat. Inhale, sit tall. As you exhale, hinge forward rather than down. Keep your chin up. Reaching forward, lift your toes and your fingers. And as you exhale, push your toes and fingers down, stretching the front of the shin, ankle, and those extensors on your forearm. And let's pull that knee toward the chest as we lean back. Draw some flowy circles as you stretch through the back of the hip. And then the opposite direction with that ankle circle. Good. Now, left leg. Extending, supporting on that right lat. Remember, if the shoulder does not like to be extended, shorten it, but keep your back long and strong as you hinge forward. Lift the toes and fingers up and down. Excellent. Sitting tall, pull your navel in like you're zipping tight trousers. And draw the knee toward the chest. And draw flowy circles with your left ankle. And the other way. Excellent. Let's take a deep breath. And check our perceived exertion. That is on a scale of 1 being lowest intensity and 10 being highest. How do you feel right now? Maybe a 2 or a 3, that would be ideal. Remember, start slow, work up gradually, stay in tune with how you're feeling. And at any time you need to, want to, come back to that chair and just keep moving there. Okay? Let's start with our balance pattern. And you can do it in the chair. Lift, 2, 3, march, 2, 3, lift, 2, 3, march, 2, 3. If you're in your chair, you'll notice these hip flexors and quads might get tired, so sometimes you gotta be creative and pull your heels back or kick them forward. But you can do it. If you're eager to be on your feet, take your time. Transition. And this left side of my chair is feeling lonely, so I'm gonna start over here. All right, best posture. Double check the area around your chair. Make sure nothing's under your feet. Best posture. Let's do a little knee lift with that left knee lift. 2, 3, march, 2, 3, right, 2, 3, and see if you can lift that opposite arm. If you need that balance check, keep that hand near the chair at all times. So we've got a couple of balance checks or safety nets here because we can touch our chair if we need. If we're feeling wobbly, we can also tap our toe down. Missed my beat. Lift, 2, 3, march, 2, 3, lift, 2, 3, march, 2, 3. You can make this really little and gradually bigger if you feel that's within your abilities today. You can even reach higher and come up to the ball of your foot. That requires a lot of power and balance. It's kind of like fake skipping. But it feels feels a little bit wobbly to me, but not dangerous. So same for you, I hope. You gotta stay within your abilities. You're the only one who knows. Okay, a couple more of these. And then I think we need to switch it up. One more time. March it out. All right, let's see. We were using the front muscles of our legs. Let's get in behind our chair and try to fire up our hamstrings, those rear muscles. With a nice wide stance and kind of low in it, little mini squat. Let's kick up that left heel. 2, 3, march, 2, 3. I've got to move forward a little bit or I'm going to kick the couch. Lift, 2, 3. You can add a little row there with one arm or both. It's up to you. Breathing the whole time, never holding your breath. Good. Keep that foot dorsiflex and keep the knee down to recruit your hamstrings and your hips. There's no shame in keeping your hands right on your chair if you need them. But using your arms will add, oh gosh, sometimes as much as a third, again, to that cardio output that your heart is having to work harder and get stronger to do. Oh, I added circles there. You could do that if you like. 1, 2, 3. All right, my hamstrings are starting to feel this. How about yours? Let's do one more set of 3. Row, 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 and march it out. How are you doing? On our scale of 1 to 10, are you to a 4 yet? Maybe 5, 6, 7? Hopefully. We're going to keep moving at whatever pace you can go, whether you need to take a momentary rest or stay in the chair. Just do your best. Coming over here to the side, the right side. We're just going to do this with a little kick this time and pretend we're skipping rope, okay? Then we're going to add a mental exercise, a brain game. So get into your head your multiplication tables and big 3s. We're going to use that right leg and kick it 3 times. Skip, 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 march, 2, 3, and left. 3, march, 2, 3. Got it? So 1, 2, 3, march, 2, 3. Are you thinking about your multiplication tables? Specifically 3s? Let's count up from 3. 3, 6, 9. Keep going up. 12, 15, 18. Keep going. 21, 24, 27. Keep going. 30, 33, 36. Keep going. 39. 42, 45, keep going, 48, uh-oh, yeah, I ran out of, how did you do? Are you ready to try that again? Let's get in behind our chair. And this time, we're gonna use our hips. So nice wide stance, kind of low in our athletic stance. And we're gonna lift our right hip. Here we go, lift. 2, 3, march, 2, 3, lift, 2, 3, march, 2, 3. This time, let's make it a little bit easier. Let's count by 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. 50, 55, 60, this is easy peasy. 65, 70, 75, let's get to 100. 80, 85, 90, 90, 95, 100. Oh, that was far enough, wasn't it? Okay, take a break, march it out. If you need to, stretch those hips. We're gonna do this one more time if you like. Coming back to where we started with those knees. Aha. But as I said during the warm-up, we're going to try to do 7s. So everything, our lifts will be in 7s, Our marches will be in sevens. Left knee, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. March 4, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. March 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Lift. 2, 3. How you doing? 4, 5, 6, 7. March 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Or lift. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. March 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Lift. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. March. Let's do it one more time. 5, 6, 7. And lift. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Good. March it out. Woo! I said one more time. But we're going to challenge our brain. We're going to challenge our balance, getting in behind our chair. Back to our hamstrings in sevens. And then once we've got that going, let's try our multiplication tables in sevens. That's going to challenge me. Okay, nice wide stance. Sink into your athletic stance. Let's start with our right hamstring. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. March 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Left hamstring. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. March. Are you ready to do those multiplication tables? Here we go. 7, 14, 21, 28, 34. Oh dear, I messed up already. March it out. Other leg. 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna do ones. 6, 7. Well, I hope you did better than me with your math. Boy, I'll tell you what. Before we get seated and transition to our strength interval, let's get a little slow down of our cardiovascular and a little stretch through those lower legs that work really hard on that balance. So catch your breath, slow, inhale through your nose, walk that one of your feet back and pace the heel on the ground. Honestly, I do know my multiplication tables, but it's hard to move and talk and balance, and it's fun to try though. Ease out of that calf stretch and ease into the other leg. Keeping that heel pasted on the ground, lean forward. We're going to transition to our chair for some strength work. As we do, note, your best body weight strength exercise that's so functionally important is squatting. If your feet are wide enough to touch the chair legs, you'll recruit more of your glutes and thighs. If you get your head and shoulders up and your hips back, you'll use more of your rear, and there'll be less forward force on your kneecap. Pulling your navel in and breathing, squeezing your glutes forward are all good cues. And when you're ready, sitting down, stepping to the side, leaning to the side, helps protect your spine, bracing with your arm and your abdominals as well. We're going to use our weight first, whether you have no hand weights, or you've got those socks weights that we made, or perhaps like me, you've got a jug. You might want to make sure that that lid's on nice and tight so you don't make a mess. And we're going to do some optional standing exercises that are very demanding. So first, I'll show you from our seated position, and then you can decide if you feel like it's within your abilities today to do it standing. We're going to do a one-armed row with our right arm first, sort of sitting off to the right side of our chair, getting that right leg back a bit. pulling up through our spine and supporting with our left arm on the chair. Hinge forward a little, keeping the back long and strong. Reach for the floor. Now, as you sit up, row, keeping that jug or your hand weights or your hand close to your body. Push into that forward foot and feel and engage the hamstrings and glutes and the lower back in that forward left foot. Excellent. So that's what it looks like on the left. Here's what it looks like, no worries, on the right. So we're going to use the jug or the weight in our left hand. Work that left foot back. Long, strong torso supporting either on the thigh or the chair, whichever works best for your limb lengths. Hinge forward, long straight arm. Push that front foot into the ground as you sit tall and row. One arm row with a hip hinge. We're just sort of previewing it, practicing it in the chair, making a conscious decision whether or not we want to try the next set standing. So, if you are going to stand, this is a good time to do that. Pick up anything you might have dropped on the floor. And come back over to the right side. So, you're going to need your left hand on the chair here. If you're seated in the chair, you're going to need your left hand on the chair also, or on your thigh. And we're going to put our weight in that left foot if we're standing. And reach back with the right. Long, strong torso, extended arm. Hinge forward at the hip, not too far. Sit tall and row. Keeping almost all of our weight in that left balance leg. But you can just sort of trail your toe along the ground for an extra balance check. Using a lot of hamstrings, squeezing that glute. Sitting and or standing tall each time. This is working a lot of that left leg, thighs, gluteals, and the right arm, upper back, bicep, and deltoid. And that's enough of that. Whew. Let's try it on the other side. Okay, so if you're seated, you're going to have that left leg go back a bit. Nice tall torso. Standing, left leg goes back. Nice tall torso. Hinge forward, not too far. And then as you stand tall, squeeze that right hip forward and lift your weight up toward your shoulder. If you like to count, we're shooting for somewhere around 12 to 15. But if you are done at 6 to 8, fine. The goal is to try your best, using your best form, no pain, maybe a little fatigue, a little wobbly here at the end. One more if you care to, if it's within your abilities. Whew, I felt that right there. How about you? All right, as we get seated, if you're not already seated, let's just hold that weight close to our body and try our best with our heels touching the chair to get seated. Now, if you keep your chin up and keep your weight equal in both feet, it's harder with this weight right next to your chest. Dig in with all 10 toes and the whole foot. If you're seated, just pretend to get up. And that's an excellent lower body strengthener. Pull the navel in, nose forward, hips back. Excellent. So you could have been doing a full squats, or you could have been practicing from the seat up. Both are fine. Okay, we're gonna work some abdominals with a cross shoulder chop and a little rotation That's where we're going. We want to sit at the edge of our seat. Just rest your weight there for now. Remember, when we're doing these rotational, the closer the weight is to your body, the more it will protect your shoulder. As you push away from your body, then it gets to be a little harder. So start small and gradually increase to your own ability and comfort zone. So you can cradle the weight with your left hand and hold it with your right. Tuck your tailbone under, sitting right at the edge of your seat. And lean back and look over your right shoulder. And then sit up and push up to where the wall meets the ceiling on the left side. So we're looking back and rotating as well as leaning back. So we're using the rectus abdominis and the obliques, holding the navel in, extending a little further if it feels within your comfort zone. This is a whole body exercise. Maybe just a couple more. These overhead presses are a little harder. Lower body muscles tend to have a little more stamina than upper body. Now, of course, we're going to do the other side, but let's give our arms a little rest and come back to that squat. So this time, if you want, keeping that jug close to your body, you could just cradle it. Move your right heel ever so slightly ahead of your left. And with this offset stance, dig your left foot in and just push out of that right heel as much as you can and pretend to get up. Now we're working a lot harder and differently. If it's within your abilities, all the way up, tap or sit down and do it again. Maybe just two more on this side. And take a break. Bring your left heel ever so slightly ahead of your right and bring your right heel back to where it's touching the chair leg. Test the waters on this side. Lift that left toe. Dig in with all of your right foot and your left heel. And you can just pretend to get up or you can do it all the way. Try not to get off center if anything hurts. Just stay in the chair. With this offset stance, we're challenging our balance and a little bit more of our strength. I'm getting hot. Okay, we still have our left cross chop rotational, abdominal, and shoulder chop. So left hand's holding your jug, cradle with your right. Hold the navel in, sit at the edge of your chair, lean back, and look over that left shoulder. And push up as you rotate. Start small. Hold the navel in. Make it bigger if it's within your abilities. Your safe, comfortable, but challenging range of motion without sharp, sudden pains. Breathe. Take your time. This is a big all-body exercise. Working the shoulder and the chest as we press with the arm. Working the abdominals, both the front and the sides, as we lean back and rotate. Maybe just a couple more. Woo! Excellent. So we're going to put that weight back down. Get ourselves some water. Supporting with the abdominals and with the arm as you step to the side and lean to the side. Slow and steady wins the race and saves our back. Remember that game I taught you in the warm-up? Change one thing. We can change our upper body Or we could change our lower body, or we could change the speed. I'll only change one thing at a time. And you can do it in your chair and have fun there. When we're able to get together, I'm going to ask you to participate and ask different folks in the room to change just one thing. And if you want to pass, you have to say pass and talk the talk. Pass the talk test. Okay, you could be in your chair or on your feet. Come on over here to the left side if you would. Make sure you can touch the chair and everything's out of your way under your feet. Tucked underneath your chair. Let's just start with some little heel digs, left and right. You can touch your chair. Okay, so we got the lower body going. Let's do something with our upper body. Let's push, push. Both arms at the same time, or just one if you want to keep one hand on the chair. Okay, so we've got our upper body and our lower body going. We're only going to change one thing, upper or lower body or speed. I want you to think about this. We're going to change the upper body to alternating arms. Got it? Actually, I kind of changed two things. I changed the speed as well. I already broke my rules. Okay, now the upper body's going to stay the same. Let's change our legs. Just lift your knees up. If you got to, you could touch your chair for your balance check. Okay, let's change the upper body, bicep curls. Alternating, and we could use our chair if we need it. Okay, we're going to change the speed. Only with our legs, march it out. That was hard for me. It really wasn't that big of a switch. Our feet went to a march instead of a slow knee lift. But my hands wanted to go with my feet, so let's let them go. Okay, we're going to change one more thing. Keep those hands going at tempo, left and right, right and left, but double time with the feet. Did you get that? So our arms are going at tempo and our feet are going faster, if you please. All right, we're going to make our arms go slower. Okay, yeah, now let's change those feet. Just tap your toe back, back, back. Slow arms. Okay, you got that? I messed it up. Slow arms. Reaching our foot back. This is challenging. Let's make our hands go at tempo. Oh, thank goodness, that feels normal. And just for fun, let's turn our body to the right and work ourselves behind our chair and change our arms and tap out to the, yeah, we're tapping back, but we're rowing. I almost changed two things again. We're tapping our feet back. I gotta move my chair. Keep going. Rowing. Now keep rowing, but we're gonna change our lower body. We're gonna kick our heels up to a hamstring curl. That feels familiar. We did that before. Okay. Now, if you can, you don't have to touch, but I want you to reach the opposite arm of the heel. Don't have to touch. Keep your head high. This is nearly impossible in the chair. We're reaching with the opposite foot. Let's reach for the same side foot. So all we did was you changed the upper body. Now let's change the speed of those arms, but not the legs. We're flying. We're getting nowhere fast. 4 more. 3 more. 2 more. Keep those arms waving and tap your toe out. Reach as far as you can go. Reach it way out. Keep your core tight. Ooh, this is a good one. All right, keep those toes reaching way out. We're gonna change the upper body. We're gonna just reach forward and open. Close, crisscross like a little scissors action there. Yeah? Now, see if you can take those arms a little smaller, a little faster. Little scissors in front, reaching that foot out. How are you doing? Do you think you could make your feet go twice as fast and match your arms? Try it. That won't last long for me. How are you doing? Oh, march it up. How about on a scale of 1 to 10? 1 being lowest intensity, 10 being top. Too much. How are you now? Can you talk? Want to try this one more time? Let's try out this right side here. And we're going to come back to those heel digs in front. Singles. And we're going to push with the same side arm. Singles, just one each side. Now this is going to be hard. I just thought this up, so I haven't rehearsed it. Honest. But we're going to keep our arms alternating, but we're going to do a double. First I'm going to get my legs going. Let's try that. I got it. How about you? Doubles. 2 on the right, 2 on the left, and then, no, I don't think I did that right. Well, that was humbling. I'm not doing as good at my brain games as I had hoped, but hopefully we're challenging you at home and within your abilities and you're getting a little chuckle. Okay. It's time to transition again, I believe, but before we do, let's practice a little bit of balance, okay? We're gonna take our narrow stance or neutral, feet right under our heels, and just pull up to the balls of our feet, up, 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 and hold it. See if you can do that without touching your chair, knowing you can grab it or come back down to your heels and into a little athletic mini squat. If you want to try that again to strengthen your calves and your balance and your ankles and make it more challenging, feet smacked out together. Raise up to the balls of your feet and see if you can hold it there. 4 counts. 3, 2, 1. Come down into your triple flexion, dynamically stretching your Achilles tendons and calf muscles. If you want to try it again and make it a little more challenging, put your right foot ever so slightly in front of your left. You can have some space between there or not, heel to toe. Pull up to the balls of your feet. Keep your hand near your chair and see if you can hold that up as high as you can get for 4, 3, 2, 1. Down into your triple flexion. And then again with the left ever so slightly ahead of the right. Now, you could have done 4 sets in your narrow or neutral stance, and that's going to be just as good for you, if that's where you're at with your abilities. So, left in front of the right, rise up as high as you can get. See if you can hold it with your hand near your chair for 4, 3, 2, 1, and down into your triple flexion. That's a good way to strengthen your balance and your calves and your feet and your ankles. If you have a sturdy stair at the bottom of any stairwell with sturdy rails and your shoes are on, you could practice coming up as high as you can, holding the rail, and then coming down into a little dorsiflexion. and get a good, nice, slow calf stretch and strength. I don't have a stair in the middle of my living room, but it's time to transition to strength for the whole body again, using our chair as our home base. So get that home base, chair legs touching your legs. Get your head and your shoulders up, hinge your hips back, and just see if you can hover here. Relax and breathe. Sitting down whenever you want, or just holding it and breathing. No holding your breath here. And then just get seated and please get a sip of water. Stepping to the side, leaning to the side, bracing with your arm on your lap and with your abdominals tense, braced but breathing. Ooh. Okay, we're going to use our band now to do an upper body exercise, then a lower body exercise, and then an opportunity or a choice to put them together. And these will all be in our chair, but they're challenging, so remember the less distance between your hands is what's going to make it a little harder. That and the millage or the thickness of your tube. I bet a lot of your tubes are kind of tired. I saw a lot of good fitness material recently at the Dollar General store for very inexpensive. Definitely some, if your stuff's in need of replacement, or you can give me a call, honestly. So, sitting near the edge of your seat, take your tubing, one handle in each hand, and step on it with one foot then the other, equal side. Pass the handles across so that you got an X on the fronts of your lower legs. We're going to do an upper body upright row. Backs of your hands are facing me, palms are facing your abdomen, and you're keeping your hands really close. Shoulders sort of tucked down in your back pockets. And inhale as if you're yawning to greet the day. Sliding your hands up and then down. Inhale as your chest expands and squeeze your shoulder blades together. Good. So this is the upper body component. We're going to do a couple more. Going at your own pace, you can inhale or exhale at either phase. Now, I want you to, if you want to make it harder, move your feet away from the chair a little. Pull your navel in, tuck your tailbone under, and lean back. Just keep your hands near your abdomen, please. And try this core exercise. Both feet have to stay on the ground to protect our lower back. Hold the navel in and feel those abdominal muscles working. Keep the chin tucked gently, lengthening the back of the neck. If you have any lower back pain, you could just stay in the back of your chair and maybe tighten with those abdominals. And if you like, you can add back that upright row as you sit tall. Make sure you're breathing, holding your breath while you perform this strength exercises is counterproductive and may raise your blood pressure unnecessarily, maybe dangerously. Now, if you want to make this even harder, you would row as you lean back, and that puts a whole lot of weight on that end of the teeter-totter. Plus more distance between your feet and your hands, more tension on the tube. Squeeze those shoulder blades together and breathe. Maybe just two more. Wow, that was a lot of work. Okay, bring those feet back in again so that the ankles are right underneath the knees. Turn your palms up and draw your elbows to your rib cage. Sit tall and try a bicep curl. Nice, long, tall spine. Elbows firmly, upper arms firmly planted on the torso. Breathe. Bicep curls strengthen, obviously the biceps, the upper arm flexors. and our forearms and our grip strength. Okay, give that a break. Just hold those arms down. And let's try a little hip abduction away from the center of our body. Right and then left. Keep the body straight and tall, right in the middle, and pull the navel in and exhale each time, or just breathe at your own pace. Now, if you want, we can add an opposite arm curl. So right bicep, left leg, left bicep, right leg. Or we could just add both. Lots of choices. Sit tall, anchor your upper arm to your torso and breathe. So keep that foot close to the floor and just sort of slide. It's kind of hard depending on the floor surface if you have carpet. Okay, I'm running out of gas here. Hopefully you're reaching your momentary muscular fatigue as well. All right, one more exercise. Uncross your tube if you would, please. So now we've got a letter U instead of an X. Keep your heels on the ground, but lean or walk your heels out. Don't let that band come off. Toes up, heels down. Sit tall, palms push behind you. Arms are nice and long, shoulders are away from the earlobes. We're going to see how it feels to pull the navel in. Keep a long, tall torso and push back. Pull the navel in. Keep the shoulders down. This is a small range of motion. Working the rear deltoids and the triceps quite a bit. And we're working all of our abdominals just to be strong and long through the torso. Now if you want, you can end with a little pulse. Long torso, long arms, shoulders away from the earlobes, and breathe in like you're smelling your favorite soup, and breathe out like you're blowing on the broth. Whoa, I got a little bit of a dull, achy muscle soreness right back there. But nothing hurts, sharp, sudden, or shooting. That's a sign to stop. All right, we are done with our tubing. It's a good time to step to the side, get another sip of water. If you'd like, we can work on our balance one more time. Standing, and even if you don't feel like it's within your abilities today, or at any time you're unable to stand safely, watching these exercises and going through it in your mind, that internal imagery, can really help you. So it's one method we have to exercise is to create that internal imagery. So it's different than like watching a cooking show. It's like being the chef and working from the chef's point of view. So let's cook up a little bit of balance here if you want. If not, stay in your seat and just internally imagine your body doing this. So, in fact, you could rehearse this in your chair and you'll still benefit, because what we're going to do is take the biggest source of input to our brain for balance is visual for most of us. If you're sight challenged, then it may be that your proprioception or your inner ear are a bigger source of your balance input information to your brain. So, what we're going to do is make sure we have 3 safety nets. We'll be behind our chair so we can grab it. Our hands will be that close, like a millimeter away. And we'll also practice our stepping out into a wider lower base. Looks like a squat, doesn't it? That's called stepping out. And then the last thing is opening our eyes, because we're going to practice balance with our eyes closed. Our fingertips need to be right near that chair, like a millimeter away. You can start with hip width stance, nice and tall, and knowing you can touch your chair, knowing you can step out, if you feel confident, you can close your eyes. While your eyes are closed, you can reach down and just tap your chair now and then. You can come up to your tippy toes, and come down. You can practice stepping out with your eyes closed, one direction and then the other. That opening our eyes, that felt safe for me. I'm ready. I feel confident I can progress by making my stance, my feet, a little narrower. Perhaps somewhere between neutral and feet smack dab together. And we're going to try the same exercise. Hands must be a millimeter or a nail's, like a fingernail's breadth away from the chair. Best posture. And closing our eyes if we feel confident, knowing we can open them whenever we want, knowing we can grab our chair, or even practicing stepping out with our eyes closed, knowing where our feet are without looking. Maybe if you feel comfortable, you can come up through your tiptoes. Ooh, that's hard. And opening your eyes. How would we progress this? Just as we did with our toe raises, we would take a staggered or tandem stance with maybe the left foot in front of the right or the right foot in front of the left, and see how it feels. Only if you're ready. This will be our last step in this ladder of progression, and you can return to the rung or the level that felt good for you. So left foot in front of the right, hands within reach of our chair. You get to choose whether you want to close your eyes or open them. Close your eyes and step out, careful. Knowing you can grab our chair. You get to decide if you want to come up to your tippy toes. Ooh, I needed my chair that time a little. And with the right slightly ahead of the left, if you care to. This is our fourth and final attempt for the day for our balance. Best posture, hands so close to your chair, you could just touch it whenever you need. And if you choose, close your eyes. You could practice your step out. One way. You can open your eyes whenever you want. You can grab your chair whenever you need. Or come up to your tiptoes. Ooh. That's tricky. Now we worked our calves again. Let's stretch them again. And if you have a nice sturdy wall somewhere nearby, you're welcome to hold it up. And now that our calves are nice and warm, kind of put a little bit more time and a little more weight without bouncing into that calf stretch. Knees straightish. And if it feels good, you can kind of change the angle to a slight bend. Sometimes it's helpful to move the foot in a couple inches to get a bent knee calf stretch. Still pushing into that foot. And of course we want to give the other one the same good straight knee calf stretch. It might not be as flexible, but we're going to give it an opportunity to stretch out. Relax and breathe. And then ever so slightly bend the knee. And ease out of that. We'll finish in our chair with some more stretches. You don't have to squat a lot now. We already did quite a bit today. So, let's turn to the side. Stretching them. If we're facing the right, we can hinge forward and ease the left leg back, a little at a time, not too fast. And just sit tall and allow the weight of the leg to lengthen the front of the hip and the thigh. Just imagine it like as a sack of potatoes. Breathe in, fill your lungs from the bottom to the top. Stretching upward if it suits you, even a slight arch. Bringing the arm in if the shoulder does not like to extend overhead. And stretching through that left side of your body. Keep breathing. Ease out of that stretch. We'll get the other side, but before we do, kind of sitting near the front edge of your chair, let's do a chest opener with a nice deep inhale through our nose. Lifting heart. As you exhale, let your hands drift down to your chair. Just gently clasp. Keep all four legs of your chair and both of your legs on the ground. As you lean forward, lengthening from the tailbone to the tip of your head. Creating a gentle stretch, and then exhale, lowering right ear toward right shoulder. Inhale as you slowly just trace the front half of a circle with the crown of your head. And then end up with that left ear, just leaning gently toward the left shoulder. Deep breath. That felt good. Nice trapezius stretch. Chest as well. And we'll finish off facing the left here. If you support on that left leg with that right hip a little bit off of the front edge of your chair, take your time. The goal is to get the front of the hip lengthened. Not everybody's going to look the same when they do this stretch. Sit tall and let the knee drift down. Inhale, filling your lungs from the bottom to the top. Opening the spine high, whether you reach with your arm or not. And then exhaling, stretching through the right side of your body toward your chair back. That felt good. I hope you enjoyed that workout, at least little bits of it. I will be going on a trip soon, and that's what made me think of this polar bear, because, I left my mask over here. What are the chances that I went all the way up to Alaska to attend college? What do you think the chances are that one of my kids went to a school that also has a polar bear mascot? Well, the daughter I'm about to go visit went to Ohio Northern University up in Ada, Ohio. And funny thing, even though the polar bears haven't migrated that far south yet, they have a mascot that's a polar bear too. Anyway, wherever you go, go safely and wear a mask. Latest findings for the CDC is that that the contact spread of the COVID-19 is not as much as we thought, but it still doesn't hurt to wash your hands, yeah? And wear your mask and stay safe. Keep it safe and simple. Bye for now.